G'day and welcome to part 5, I think, on the Bluey. And in this one we sort out the rear bumper and fix up the heads-up display. The Starly is done, pretty much, give or take. Still got to paint the wiper blades. It's booked in for front-end alignment, roadworthy examination and an appointment with Vic Roads. So hopefully it'll be within the week. I'll be able to release the last video on that and then we'll finish with it. So from here with the little Nissan, we've got to start cleaning up in the engine bay, replacing some brakes and organising that to get on the road too. But for now, I've got the interior all back together and the car looks a little bit better too since it's had the bumper fixed. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. I think it's about time we have a look at the Bluey. Although it's going to rain today, got to do something about this. It looks rubbish. I think what we'll do is we'll take the bumper off and replace it with one we've painted. A Bluey bumper, and it's got this silly insert. What I did find out is the American ones didn't have this insert, at least I don't think they did, and nor did some of the other ones. But I really don't like how it fits. It's sort of, I think we've got to have it equal there. Looking at where it was before I pulled it apart. I'm just going to put a bit of masking tape there so I can see exactly where it's meant to be. And these use a bit of double-sided tape on the back. The reason I'm doing that is because I've got double-sided tape on the back of this, which is where the original stuff was. So I was going to take this red stuff off and then I sort of press it into place and it clamps on from underneath. Alright, I'm taking the double-sided tape backing off. This is stuff from, oh, hang on, just let me concentrate for a minute. Oh man, how's that going? Alright, so we're near it there. Oh god. It's from Nilsson's, and something like, it's only about $9 a roll. Super stuff. That's not going anywhere. Right, and we can just put our little clamps on and we're good to go. And there's all sorts of different shaped clamps. Things like this, which it doesn't go there. Does it go there? No, probably not. It does go there though. You just sort of press them in. You probably can't see what I just did there. Maybe you can see this one, huh? And they just all screw in. There's a whole bunch of them. Stepped ones and straight ones. These things. And there's, yeah, it's all fairly straightforward stuff. This thing's been off before. There are 2 bolts in here, aren't there? So I'm just going to try and also there's something bent underneath it too, where the left hand side's mounted. So I don't know how easily it's going to relent. Nothing else. It's got these sort of things. They just kind of clip on. Actually, yeah, they just sort of slide in. The bumper slides in there, just to hold it in shape, I guess. I'll take this off. I'll try and get some nicer screws. These are rusty. Rusty 6mm screws. Are they 6mm? They're 5mm. But it hasn't actually got that much holding it in place. It's missing that screw down there too. It's interesting. Stupid brackets. Right. Got these weird brackets in it that hook in. This has been bashed. It's got a new side brace on it. We've got a bit of rust going on here too. sort of dripping down from there. So I might need to treat that, do something with it. But the rest of it's pretty good. That's a bit bent there. I'll try and hammer dolly that out because it looks bent next to the other side. But that's a start. Not all that good. That's bent. I made the mistake of thinking you took these out to get the bumper off, but it all just comes out with the thing. It's these things here that go in onto the bumper first, and they screw in from underneath. So that's good to know. It's been resprayed, and we've got dobs of urethane holding it in, which is broken there. Some sort of adhesive anyway. It's not that good. The repair on it's pretty poor actually. I think we'll just clean that off a bit and start putting it together. Focus. Even that has been glued on here because the eye's broken out of it. Cool. But it looks like it's had a new bracket put on. Spare part bracket. So look, this will just all slide under the house. I'm not going to keep any of this. I wouldn't even bother with it if I had a pranged one at the back because it just looks too sort of knackered, you know. But we can make it all work. We can make it work. This bumper looks a lot better, although it's still torn out there in the underside on the plastic lip. I've done the ultimate nano and put a gold screw there, so that will be touched up with white paint, which is dodgy. I hate that sort of thing, but end of the day, it's better than looking at a dent the size of a basketball. This thing here is going to be a problem in the future. All the paint's cracked, so we'll keep an eye on that. We're going to have to redo it. It's just had a bit of a spank on the bum. I'll just push that out if I can. I don't know that I can get behind it too well though. But anyway, we'll give it a go and see how she goes. Got to work that around with something. I want to get something to scoop around it with. Try and stretch it into shape. 50mm socket's the biggest I've got. I don't know if I can use it as a bit of a dolly on here, but maybe. Well, it went okay. It looks presentable. It fits like a glove down there, but it does on this side. Yeah, but what do you do? It looks better than it did. So, I'm quite happy with that. The ripple in it, here, you couldn't see with the burgundy paint, but you can see with the white. I guess the next thing, we had a sunroof leak. And we've got to put the interior all back together. There's no more leaks, although that looks like a leak, right? But it's not. That's a leak from the factory that was painted over by the look of it. Look. Can you focus? Yep. As dry as dry. So we can undo the hay band and lie this carpet down. Put that back together. I'm not going to put the instrumentation back together yet. Got to muck around with a bit of wiring behind there for the head-up display. But the seat can go back in, the rear seat can go back in, and we can clean underneath the back seat and make it into a worthwhile Bluey again. We got around to doing this. This is just contact adhesive. Just to put the seal back on. Actually, I probably should put tape around the edge of it, shouldn't I? Might make the job neater. Just a moment. Nope, didn't work because the tape doesn't stick. Come on. That's it. This I bought recently, and it's not that good. So we're just going to paint some adhesive on there and do the same to the back of the seal because it's a contact adhesive. Oops, my heel got stuck. And stick the seal back on. I've also got to do the shower recess upstairs, the magnet on the door. That's magnet strip thing. That's come off. And some laminate on the kitchen cupboard. So in between using this, I'll just put this in a plastic bag and pop it in the fridge so it doesn't go off too quickly. Got a bootload full of crap. That looks so good. The shiny Bluey. Actually, I've got to give it a bit more shining up. Interior goes back together on our 800 buck car. And look at it. Seriously, I do not know why these cars aren't worth a lot more money. Now, whoops. We still have to visit that wiring for the head-up display. If I can't get any joy out of it, I don't care. I'm just going to leave it for now. Oh, that seal's come up again. And you know what? I'll revisit it later. I don't know. But I do need to revisit that. All this is good. The thing's really, really good. So, I'll go through the pinouts. I found another pinout thing since I did this, and I'll check my wiring against that. I'm just going to shut that. That's probably better. And we'll see how we go. But it might be some pretty involved electronics. I might buy an oscilloscope. I've been thinking about buying a scope for a while, but I can't remember how to use them. And logic probes and stuff like that, and see if I can sort of trace where it is. I would buy a scope just to fix this car. I really would. So from here, see the sunroof pop up? Oh, look at that. From here, this is what we're going to do. I'll put that bin back because I have to open the doors to get the seat in. We need to get to the front. Can't be bothered doing the bumper at the moment, though that can stay. I'm not too fussed about that. But this car is constantly dropping coolant, and it's the tanks. So I did buy another radiator. I didn't think I needed it, but I bought it anyway. It was 50 bucks. So what we're going to do is going to pop that out, give the engine a bath, put a new rock cover gasket on, give it an oil and filter change, and pop a new radiator in, new coolant. We also have to have a look at those mounts, those engine mounts, because I think they are knackered. There's one down there. Ooh, let's go and get a torch. Hang on a minute. Alright, I didn't do this before. That engine mount is, there's your answer. It's sunk right down, although it might not be split. I think it is though. I'm not sure from there, but it does look like it's sunk. The front one actually doesn't look too bad. Maybe they're not as bad as I thought. But look at that oil down there. I mean, it is horrendous. We'll put a new belt on too. I'll take a lid off and clean it. I might actually remove the alternator from the car too while I wash it. And I don't know how I'm going to do this without getting it all sopping, but I think she said she had a service done not that long ago. I think the oil was quite clean. There is the dipstick on this. Oh, I can't remember. There it is. Yeah, it needs doing. So yeah, we'll give it a good clean, and it won't be long. It won't be long before this is a pearler back on the road. What's that screen like? No, it's not bad. I think I was amazed at how good the screen was. I know the screen's great. The drive shafts and the struts, all the suspension's really good. It's just the oil leak that's caused a lot of trouble. Quick look at Susie's Commodore. Very low mileage, 50,000 Ks. And some arse has decided to break into it and done all sorts of damage. They've smashed the window, gone through the console bin. We've had to move it. We've called the police and being very careful how we open it. We're going to put some plastic over the window without touching anything. But that is, it's like a new car, 50,000 Ks. This is the second time it's been damaged. Oh, the third time someone nicked the plates and that cost us. Then someone bashed in the back door. And this. So, I'm very unhappy with that. And that's what happens when you leave a car on the street. I'll take these out because that was me who put those there. Hey, how you going? It just pisses me off that people do this sort of thing. We haven't touched the console bin. Apparently that's something you shouldn't be touching. I couldn't even get it in gear because of the shattered glass in the gear shift. It's a real piss off. That should hold. Maybe a bit of tape on the door. That should make it waterproof anyway, hopefully. Right, back in the Bluey. I'm going through this plug here. That's the one I put in for the head-up display. Now what I've done is I've copied some notes out of the book. Well, there's not a book. Well, there is a book, but generally you don't actually see all the pinouts on the one page. You'll have a page with 3 pinouts for this system, then you have to go through a few more pages, and then you'll see the head up again, and another couple of pins for this system. So it's sort of amassed over a bunch of different pages, probably half a dozen of them or so. I haven't found these ones here yet. Yet all of the wires in here are populated. Now, what I'm finding, I've just started this. We've got there's 3 feeds basically. There's a switch feed here on the orange wire. There's a battery feed there. They're working, but there's also an ignition switch feed on a brown one that's not energizing. That's good to find that. I'll look through the other loom and find out exactly where that wire goes, but I've just got to go around and check the speed sensor one. There's ones from the door switches and all this sort of other stuff, seatbelt control, and yeah, I don't need to worry about that. Washer level. Is there a washer level on this head-up? Is there? Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. I don't remember. How do you see it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Camera work is just shocking. No, I don't think there is. There's speed, there's right and left turn, there's handbrake, there's 2 front doors, check engine light, and that is around about it. So they're the systems I'm going to be looking into. I don't care if 1 or 2 of them don't work. I just want to see some speed up on the screen. That would look spiffy. Anyway, I'm just going to go through these again and figure out what they do. Right, RXW's home. At last, it's been 6 months at my mother's house, and we have to sell that place, so the RXW is home now. Well, as you can see, my shadow's not too good in terms of photography. Maybe if I shoot back like this, that's probably better, isn't it? Good to have her back. Well, that did stay cleaner at her place than it ever stayed here. This car I finished restoring about 5 years ago. I think in 2015. July. So yeah, 5 years ago now. First little Starly drive. I've got to kick it out of here and bring the XW in. I've still got a couple of things. Hang on, we'll just start him up and get it outside. I've got to adjust the clutch. The clutch isn't quite there yet. Where's the key for it? Is this the key? Oh, crap. Hang on a second. Put the battery terminal loose. So I still have to straighten the steering wheel. So the battery terminal's loose, and I've got to... I've taken that off because I need to put the remote boot thing on. So I'll just park that there, and we should be good. First time I've actually caught a look at it. It's a blotchy thing, but oh look, I've left all the polishing residue there. The tailgate's not blotchy because I knew about it before I painted it. How does it look? Yeah, it's blotchy, but it's passable. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. It still looks reasonably tidy. This is what happens when you're an idiot and you fall in love with everything with wheels. This is a horrible spot for this thing because it doesn't get any sun in the winter. It's a nice day today, but they condensate under the covers, which isn't really very good. We've got this set back about a foot. That'll allow me room to start on this, and I can get the door open, which means I think I've sussed out the head-up display. I don't know, we'll get to that. Starly. Speedo wasn't working because I forgot to plug it in. Plug the Speedo in. Speedo's working, everything's working. I'm just going to bleed the clutch, and I might take that pair of seats out today, or just that seat there, so I can put the control, what do you call it? The remote releases in. It feels great. It's just straight in the steering wheel, so that can be put back together, and it's living outside now. Pity about the blotchiness. What do? You can't do anything. It still looks lovely. It's a great looking little car, so very proud of it. Just wish I got the paint a bit better. That being said though, the sheen level on it's beautiful. There's not a Starly that's shinier than that. Let's have the shine test. Yes, that's the shine test. Good definition with the ghost gum there, so I'm pleased with that. Right, got to store some crap under the house, and what else do I need to do? Got to bring the cars in. Ever since my other Starlet got hit, and Susie's cars got hit, twice, nothing stays out. The XW. Oh, gee whiz, this is a beautiful car. Hang on, we'll get some lights going. The light going. Oh, there they are. Absolutely gorgeous car. I still haven't fitted those and tucked up that bit of headlining, and I don't know. I've got to get another one of those light covers there. This is a beautiful car. I'm very happy with this. Still haven't got the miles on it. I've done 700 miles. That's all. But if I did this car again, if I was to do this car again, I wouldn't do anything differently. Yes, I would. I'm lying through my teeth. I would put power steering on it from the get-go, and that's what we still have to do. And the stance on it's useless. It's too high at the back, too low at the front, but I'm going to raise the front because they're the wrong springs. Raise the front an inch or two, and that might level it out a bit. But with the power steering on, it will be a stunning car to drive. It's a 5-year-old restoration. It's, hang on a minute, still looks nice and fresh with its 351 Windsor, and not a complaint in the world. It does run a lot. It does run quite warm. It's got the XY booster, which is bigger than the XW one. This car didn't have boosted brakes. It just had a 3.6 litre T21, and I wanted it to look like a Mustang engine bay, but with the same colour on the inside like we do them here in Oz. The Americans always have black engine bays or satin black engine bays, and I never really liked them that much. I'll turn the parkers off, eh? But yeah, very happy. I won't sell this car. Well, I won't sell any of them, let's face it. If I was going to sell them, I would have sold them by now, but I used to sell cars and then immediately regretted it. I regret selling a lovely 350 SLC Mercedes-Benz and a Galaxy 390 66 model. Little Morris 1500 with a genuine 20,000 on it from new. And none of those cars achieved the money they should have. So, I mean, the Galaxy I think I sold for 17 or 16 or something now. That car would be worth 30. Right. Got to disconnect this battery. These terminals are knackered too. I've got to get new ones. There we go. I'll pull that out. Actually, yeah, I will pull that out. So, on the work front, got some bikes to do. Got to finish that XC. Every time I drive one of these V8 Fords, I just think, got to get that XC finished. Oh, God, that's quite heavy. Hang on a sec. I've got the Bluey's dash here. There's a couple of things with this. We've got the indicator lights. Now, I know when I'm in drive or park, and I know if I go backwards and hit a car behind me, I don't have to check the dash to see what gear I was in. That doesn't really mean too much to me, but I do want the overdrive off light on, because that's the one thing I do use. Now, this cluster was out of a manual car, and it's head-up display. So I've got to take all this out, because in here, that's those shift lights there. And this is one out of a standard dash that came from the car. And you can see there's diodes in here. Now, these are marked differently from all the other diodes I've seen. So I don't think they're Schottky diodes, although they do say M1 on them, and some of the Schottkys are marked like that. M1 through M5, and they are just a Schottky diodes, one that reacts very quickly, much quicker than a standard diode. These are just positively and negatively doped silicon, so it allows electrons to pass through one way. I always tell the kids when we talk about diodes, they're kind of like a door with a handle on one side, so you can get in one way but not back the other. So, that looks a bit burned. But anyway, look, we've got to put them in now. They're all soldered from the back, and they pass through the PCB. And the holes are there. So what I've got to do is I've got to take this apart, and I've got to do it quite carefully because I don't want to break it. The other thing is, of course, Nissan use these wedge globes, which are a weird size. Nissan do things like this. They won't use the standard small ones, which I've got a bunch of them somewhere. I don't know where they are. So I've got to pull all these out, take this board out, and then solder it up, because the plug that I've got going into this one is prepared for, or is wired for an automatic car. The manual ones are wired differently. So the dash lights, they give us sort of a whitish light, a pale blue. Oh, that's not, that's something else. So anyway, I'm going to pull this apart. The thing that worries me a little bit though, I've got to be really careful with this. And we just got to be so careful. This stuff's old. Old electronics are a bit of a pain in the neck. So this is the module for the head-up display. The other machine didn't have this, or the other dash, sorry, didn't have this in. There goes the dog. She's heard a noise and consequently started barking. So I'm going to pop this out here, have a bit of a look. I've got Susie with me. Susie doesn't really like to work on cars, but she's good company. Have a look at this. Oh, that thing's come off. That's the cover. We've got transformers, got a power transistor, a bunch of caps. We've got all sorts of business in here. One thing I noticed actually about the Nissan stuff is the quality of it. Here's your tack. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a trim pot there too for calibration. It's all so, I mean, this is 90 stuff. And it's exquisite the way it's made. Where's the Speedo? Have a look at this. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start with this. There's ICs, there's all sorts of things. Probably microcontrollers, all sorts of business in there. Let me just take this off. And I will be in a better position to judge what I need to do. Right. Does that module come off? Yes, it does. And that's the driver for the head-up display. So the pin or the plug that I wired is this one here. And that drives the actual head-up display. It's all surface mount stuff. A lot of electrolytic capacitors, those things have a tendency to leak. I can't see any leaking or anything happening there. But quite often in older electronics, they're the things that give trouble, and that's why people recap them. It just means putting new capacitors in. So I'm going to continue taking this thing out, and we'll have a look at it then. Right, so we've pulled apart the head-up dash. Check out the Speedo. Oh my gosh. It is just nuts. If you think about what a Speedo in an old car looks like, with just a bell and a cable going in, this thing's absolutely mental. Right, so this is off the head-up. That's not. So what we need to do is we've got an iron here. Clean it off on a clean cloth. And we've also got to make sure these contact pads, because the diodes pass through and it shows which way they go. It shows regular diode symbols, not Zener or Schottky diode symbols, so I'm assuming that that's what they are. I'm just hoping. If this doesn't work, it doesn't work. What do you do? I'm just going to clean those pads a little bit, just with a bit of Scotchy Brite. Make them nice and shiny so we can tin them. I can't tin them before. I'm sort of hoping I can just whack the diode straight in there without tinning the thing, because it'll block the hole up. I'm hoping. There's supposed to be, what's this? Is there meant to be a resistor there? That looks like a resistor, but it doesn't say the value. So I'm going to have to investigate further. So we just need to clean those off. And then we can just put them in. And just make sure they're the right way around, I guess. Start with this one up here. They go in through this way and sit in thus, just like that. I might actually sharpen the transition where they're curved. It's got to be so bloody careful. I'll put 2 pairs of glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Because this will, I should be using a lower temperature iron, because it's just heating up the PCB so much. Just sort of tack them in and then try and get them in. It's actually quite difficult to do. You can see where the heat's affected it, but the pads are still there. I haven't even got that one in properly. That's a dry joint. Hang on. Oh dear. Oh well, if I wreck it, I wreck it. What do you do, eh? It's worth a go. The hole is right on the edge of the pad too, which is a bit of a concern. I think that'll do. Okay. And we just go around and do that and hope we get some sort of solid result out of it. This is where you can tell that I should be doing it a little bit more carefully than what I am. Right, so here's our dash shell. I ran into a problem because the original one has this for the header, but you can't get that out. It's actually molded in. I thought it would just be a blank. I've had to get the other one, change the lenses and use it with that indicator set up there. Right, so here's our circuit board. We'll put him on. Some of those joints don't look great, but I didn't want to put too much heat into the thing. But there's good continuity there, so I think it's going to be fine. So we're going to stab all these things in. I might use a small, I know I can get around that. I was going to use a small socket, but that should be alright. So I'm just going to put these on and we'll put the instruments back in. I do have to modify one of the wires in the car. I found a dead feed. So we need to investigate what's causing that. And it should all be good. I wish I could find my Volvo bone. I can't find it anywhere. I've lost it, so I'm going to have to buy another one. I think you can still get them. They're quite reasonably priced. Probably should have checked these. I might just check them in circuit. They're awfully tight to get in because I've never had a globe in them before. So I'm just going to put these in now because all the head-up gubbins covers it up, so it's very difficult to see. Hang on, guys, you're taking my concentration. The girls are laughing about something.
I made a "that's what she said" joke.
Oh, did you? They made a "that's what she said" joke. They're all around the school. I keep hearing that.
That's what she said.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'll just go around and do this. The gauges in this are different. They're actually a different colour. So, I'll show you what I'm talking about. They're sort of a charcoal colour. This thing's horrendous, this Speedo. I've got to thread that wire through. I can't take that header off. I think it's sort of, yeah, it's soldered in. That's a really delicate bit of kit. So we need to turn it around and thread that wire through without dropping anything, because that would be really bad, and bad language would tend to gush from my mouth if I did that. So just pull him out and get it in like that. I think we're good. Hang on, just wait a sec. I put the camera on, Lana, stop it. Hang on, I can't get this in, what the hell? That just goes in like that, I think. Oh, I see, the wire's caught. There we go. We're just going to be careful how we handle this thing. And pop some screws in. Where are the screws? The other one used different screws for the Speedo. I think these are just run-of-the-mill. These ones. And so that'll hold in. That is not in there. Yes, it is. So I'm naturally quite nervous about this because if I wreck it, I do have a spare, but I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to do that. I'll go for this one. And that one will go in there. This one has. Before I put the temperature gauge in, I've got to put the switch in for the head up, which is that guy. That goes in there, and the wiring sort of disappears behind there. But yeah, you can see the other gauges are sort of more black than they are charcoal. These are sort of more a charcoal colour. I'm nervous about this. Hang on a minute. I'll just get one started and then we can support it. There we go. Good. Okay. Grab it there. It's safe to grab there. Oh dear. It is fun though. You know what? I'm a bit nervous about that resistor. There's meant to be a resistor there. These other resistors are all different values too. I checked them with the meter. So if nothing works, it could be down to that. I'm not sure. It'd be a pain if like we didn't get something out of this, because that would defeat the purpose of it all. But not just that. I mean, I quite enjoy doing this sort of thing, but I do want it to work. I mean, I wouldn't do this if I didn't. Right. Now, I think it's probably a good time to put this in. That just sits with the screw, and then the wiring disappears into that gap there, and there's locating pins and a Phillips head, and this is the thing that turns the head up on and brightens and dims it. So we'll screw that home and then we'll put the other gauges in, and then we should hopefully be out of it. I've just got to fix up the wiring in the car and we're good. And of course you can see that switch sort of beneath the tack. And this is the last one here. The temperature gauge. Beautiful kit. The other ones actually look a bit cleaner. And just drop him into place and screw them up and we're good to go. Pop the illumination ones in. I probably should test all this, but I can do it with a probe. That's another one there. And that's one there, I think. Hang on, that's one there. mask over to protect it. Don't say I drilled that hole in the wrong spot, that would really suck. No, that's right. Right. Just means we haven't got the that, which is a bit of a bummer, but and it doesn't look as tight as it could, but yeah, I don't really care. Right, now we can see what some of these lights do. Let's pop some globes in. I might put the head-up module in first. Get that done. I don't know what to do with that. Hang on. Here it is. Yes, I did go this way. With some screws and locators and all that sort of stuff. Lovely. There we go. So far so good. What went there? Oh, I know what went there. That's right. I've got that. We're in control. We are in control. We sort of know what we're doing. I'm not going to say I fully know what I'm doing because I don't, but we sort of know what we're doing. And then there's this little thing here which plugs in there like that, and that goes in there. A very good friend of mine, Richard Graham from the Wolsey Car Club, gave me this head torch. It's incredibly powerful. It's got 5 lights, and you can have all of them on, and epilepsy mode. So maybe one will do. No, that one. I reckon that one. Okay, let's put him on our head, and all of a sudden I can see exactly what I'm doing. This is marvellous. Right, so this one here should have a brown feed in it. And I can't see it. Hang on, what's that one there? Nope, that's not it. There, this one. Right, so this is the deal. There should be a feed. Listen keys. Is the battery connected? Yes, I can hear the fuel pump. Where's the pin? And the red lead. Right. So, I'll put on DC voltage. With this thing I'm having trouble with, if I go in here, I'm not getting a single sausage, no voltage. If I try it in this one, I'm getting 12 volts. So, they should all come from the same source. So what's happened is this. I've wired it incorrectly, that brown wire, because that's a switch positive. There's 2 switch positives and a constant positive. The orange is a switch one as well. We're getting a feed there. And next to that brown one's a red one. And we're getting a feed there too, but we're not getting it from that brown one. And I'm hoping that is our problem. I'm not getting squat out of it. Yep, zippo. So I'm going to cut that back, and I'm just going to run a patch in. Any other browns? Here's another one here. Yep, 12 volts. And here, 12 volts. That's the way of it. The other thing is, I'm just going to arc the iron up, and I'm going to run a patch lead, so I'll cut that back a bit and just run a patch lead in. That's the easiest way to deal with this. This thing here is the wiring which I've cut for the dimmer. I have to extend it because I've routed something incorrectly in behind here. And this loom is very complicated. So really, rather than pulling all the dash again and trying to get it the right way and then finding something else is wrong, because it's quite a busy loom, I'm just going to extend those wires down to here. It's shocking, I just powered it on. Woohoo, look at that, look at that. What you got? Heads up display, right. So, let's do a little light check. So we've got to put the hazards on. Yeah, we're going to have to get through that a bit more. The oil pressure light's not working because it's off the thing. What about the... oh, that works. Cool. And the overdrive one, the light's awful. Hang on a minute. Oh, wow, cool. I wanted that. But that's what I'm interested in. Well, it is night time. And time to have a look at the Bluey. Here's the Bluey. Interior light doesn't work. Got to fix that. But this idea of this is to show you. Oh boy, what we've come up with. We'll just pop the key in. Oh, that's annoying. And we're gonna head up display. Look at that. And when you turn the lights on, it dims. We've got the switch on the dash so we can override it and have it on daylight. You can see sort of some ghosting there, and you can turn it right down if you want, or turn it off. It all works really well. What else is there? We'll start the engine. So I'll turn it up so you can see it. Maybe it's there. So the handbrake one, that works, and the door that comes on. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I will have to modify a couple of things because we put the overdrive light in. I don't know, this thing doesn't, when you turn the lights off, these indicator lights come on. The park reverse thing, which I'm sure it's supposed to be on before. But that's what we're after. That's the result we're after. So there is some ghosting, so that plastic reflective thing's supposed to be there. So make it easy to see. My clothes the car is shaped. So there we go. Can you dim it with the thing off? Hang on, let me have a look. Yeah, it does dim. It's pretty good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Do take care of yourselves, enjoy Classic, and I'll see you soon. And of course, if this car had an electronic speed sensor, Starley with head up, it's not as stupid as it sounds. It actually wouldn't be hard to wire up. It's the speed sensor that's the issue. Theoretically speaking, you'd probably put one on the XD, easier than the Starley, because at least you've got an electronic transducer. What do you reckon? She haven't. Jesus.